very good evening and a warm welcome to the midweek edition of Prime TV News. I'm Ishara Nautun and let's get started first with your headlines for the day. President says the Batticaloa University will be brought under the Education Ministry. Notices are again issued on the IGP and the former Defence Secretary. More facilities afforded to use the Suasaria ambulance service. A National Tawheed Jamaat suspect who attempted to bribe the police is trapped. Tehran is likely to increase uranium enrichment after pulling out of the nuclear deal. Now for your news in detail. A new app and a new emergency operations management network have been introduced for the 1990 Suasaria ambulance service. The event took place at the Suasaria main centre in Rajgiriya. It was organised by Non-Cabinet Minister Dr. Harsha De Silva. This mobile phone app has been introduced with the intention of making the Suasaria ambulance service more efficient. It has been designed to suit the Android and iOS operations network. The app service clearly indicates the location of the person who gave the call, ensuring the opportunity of immediately dispatching the ambulance to the exact location. This will further expand the service extended to the people through the 1990 Suasaria ambulance service. The Suasaria ambulance service, a gift of the Indian government, was initially launched in 2016, centering the western and southern provinces. It is now operative, covering many areas within the island. The saved through this service exceeds thousands of lives. Minister Dr. Harsha De Silva said that he wished to extend his heartfelt praise to the entire nation. He mentioned that when the bill in this respect was moved in Parliament, no one expressed their protest against it. All 225 MPs agreed to it. Such bills are very rare. Politics is not involved in it. He added that maximum service is provided to everyone equally. A person who attempted to provide a bribe to the Horo Patana OIC to seek bail for a suspect of the National Tawheed Jamaat organisation. He was due to be produced in the Anuradhapura Magistrates Court today. The suspect Abdul Malik Mohammed Niaz, who maintained close links with Saharan Hashim, who was the main planner of the Easter Sunday attack, was taken into custody on the 28th of last month. He has been remanded until the 14th of this month. A man had made an attempt to give a bribe of 500,000 rupees to the Horo Patana OIC, seeking the assistance of the police to grant bail to this suspect when he is to be produced in courts on the 14th. Accordingly, the police took action to inform the Bribery Commission in this respect. The suspect was caught red-handed by officials of the Bribery Commission Investigations Unit while handing over an advance of 250,000 rupees to the OIC. The suspect is Mohammed Shishan, a resident of Horo Patana. It is reported that there is an improvement in the attendance of students as security in schools has been strengthened.
Security in all schools within the Anuradhapura district has also been consolidated. The defence sectors are specially examining teachers as well as students entering the school. As such, principals claim that no one should have any doubts with respect to the security. Although there was a limited attendance of children on the first day of the new school term, there is now an improvement in attendance. Principals claim that there is also an improvement in attendance of students by today within the goal area. They have called on the parents to send their children to schools. Meanwhile, Minister Ravi Karunanayake has said that a better situation on security in schools prevails based on the support of the armed forces and the police. The minister made this remark when he joined in observing the security situation of several schools within the Colombo division. Minister Ravi Karunanayake said that the children are their wealth. As such, what they were doing was to satisfy them so that they would have not fear.
The Supreme Court has ordered to hand over notice to the Inspector General of Police Pooja Jayasundara and former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando to appear before the court regarding a fundamental rights petition filed against them. There is more information on court cases taken up for hearing today. A fundamental rights petition filed against former Defence Secretary Hemsri Fernando and IGP Pujit Jayasundara is set to be considered on the 21st of this month. The petition has been filed by a father who had lost his son and daughter in the Easter Day terrorist attack, accusing the IGP and the former Defence Secretary of infringing the fundamental rights of the people by failing to prevent the attacks on churches and hotels, even when intelligence information had forewarned. The Supreme Court today ordered to take up on the 28th of June the case filed against former Chief Justice Sarath N. Silva on contempt of court charges. When the case was taken up today before a bench of judges comprising Prasanna Jayawardena, Murudhu Fernando and EAG A. Amarasekara, Justice Prasanna Jayawardena informed that he would step down from the bench hearing the case. Sarath N. Silva had allegedly expressed views regarding the court order issued against a gazette notification issued by the President dissolving the Parliament. Justice Prasanna Jayawardena stated in open court that he too was a member of the bench which had issued the court order in question, which is the basis for the defendant's statement, and that therefore he does not wish to participate in this hearing. As such, the Supreme Court allocated another day to take up the case for consideration. Sarath N. Silva said that he had filed preliminary objections against the complaint. The petitioner states that the statement made by the former Chief Justice during a meeting organized by the Jathika Ekamutuwa organization in Maradana on December 3rd is in contempt of court. The complaint has been made by 3 persons, including Professor Chandragupta Tenwara. Meanwhile, a case filed by the Bribery Commission against 3 persons, including former Attorney General and Chief Justice Mohan Peiris, was taken up for consideration at the Colombo Chief Magistrates Courts today. The Bribery Commission informed that the Supreme Court had issued a stay order with respect to the case. Accordingly, the case will be taken up again on the 28th of June. A suspect has been arrested with more than 1,000 ammunition used for various types of firearms and parts of firearms. Such operations around the island are still continuing. More than 1,000 ammunition and parts of firearms were seized from the Tung Andahena area in Navagamua. The Navagamua police carried out the raid while the suspect was riding a motorbike based on a tip-off received. The suspect was due to be produced in the Kadwila Magistrates Court today. A stock of arms and explosives were recovered while it was buried in a home garden in the Mukapan area in Kilinochi. Air arms including an RPG bomb, 8 parts of firearms and C4 explosives in addition to a motorbike. 1 suspect has been arrested. The raid was carried out by Sri Lanka's 20th Infantry Regiment of the Kilinochi Defence Headquarters. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has pointed out that the recent despicable attacks in Kenya, New Zealand and Sri Lanka, among others, are tragic reminders of the global reach of the scourge of terrorism. In remarks made at the official launch of the United Nations Countering Terrorist Travel Program in New York, Guterres said he established the Office of Counterterrorism in 2017 for several fundamental reasons: to help strengthen international counterterrorism cooperation, to expand multilateral networks for sharing information, to detect, identify, disrupt and prosecute terrorists, and to ensure that member states most affected by terrorism have the capacity to tackle this evolving threat. He mentioned that the recent despicable attacks in Kenya, New Zealand and Sri Lanka, among others, are tragic reminders of the global reach of the scourge of terrorism. He added that these attacks underscore the need to work closely with partners across the United Nations system and beyond. Meanwhile, a commemorative event for the victims of the Easter Sunday terror attack in Sri Lanka has been held at the General Assembly Hall of the UN headquarters in New York. The event to honor the victims, their families and all those affected by the terror attacks was co-sponsored by the Office of the President of the General Assembly and the Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka at the United Nations. President Maithripala Sirisena has said that terrorism has not triumphed in any part of the world. He mentioned that no room should be left to divide the Sri Lankan nation according to brutal aims of extremist terrorism. The president was speaking joining in an observation tour of the Saindamurdu area in Kalmune. The president joined in an observation tour of the Saindamarudu area in Kalmune this morning, where the bomb explosion occurred on the 26th of April. The president met and had discussions with state officials of the eastern province and Muslim young men and women. The president had discussions with the provincial state officials at the Le Meridian Auditorium in Saindamarudu. Among those who joined in this gathering were state representatives and state officials, as well as the defense sector chiefs of the eastern province. Expressing his views on the occasion, said that along with the explicit reorganization program undertaken in the defense sectors, the president pointed out that national security is now taking place with a new look and a new plan. This program will enable all citizens to live without fear and suspicion. The president said that the right of the people to live in a free society has been consolidated. Eastern Province Governor MLAM Hizbullah also expressed his views. Thereafter, the president of the Saindamarudu Juma Mosque, YM Hanifa, presented a memento to the president to mark his visit to the area. Thereafter, the president joined in a meeting with the young Muslim community of the area. The president told them he would leave no room at any place in the motherlands for brutal terrorism. He assured that he would properly fulfill his responsibility to rout it. During a cordial discussion with them, the president listened to their requests. Expressing views to the university launched under the aegis of Hizbullah, the president said that a clear decision was to be taken to maintain it was a private university under the laws and regulations of the Education Ministry and the Higher Education Ministry. After these events, the president visited the location where the bomb explosion happened in the Saindamarudu area on April 26th and inspected the area. The wages ordinance will be amended. This was a decision approved by the Cabinet of Ministers.
Clause 59A of Wage Ordinance will be amended according to the Constitution to prevent any irregular situation that may arise for the permanent employees of a certain institution in the recruitment of contract staff. The Cabinet has decided to enter into a defence cooperation agreement between Sri Lanka and Japan. In the meantime, Cabinet approval was received. Amend the necessary acts when to presenting the suspects and the accused in courts. When the suspects are remanded for 2 weeks, are produced in courts, prisoners, prison officials and people are at significant risk. Accordingly, it is the intention of bringing the new laws to release indicted persons' individuality to the needs of the courts. The Cabinet decided to craft the bill and present in Parliament after gazetting it. The Cabinet has also approved a proposal to secure the necessary funds to implement projects to make efficient operations of the Sri Lanka Railways Department, improve it and strengthen the maintenance capacity as well as increase security. The government has decided to suspend the issue of recommendation letters by the National Film Corporation for the sale of alcohol at cinema halls.
Finally, on more local news, the Ampara District National Development Programme Ekata Sitimo, Stand Up Together, continued for the third day today. Various programs are implemented in the Ampara District National Development Ekata Sitimo program, covering 20 divisional secretariat divisions. The Sri Lanka Vocational Guidance Institute, affiliated to the Presidential Secretariat, held an awareness program this morning. In addition, the Sri Lanka Cashew Corporation launched a program to distribute cashew plants with the participation of officials of the Presidential Secretariat. Another program to sort out land issues and to grant land deeds was held at the Damana Divisional Secretariat Division in Ampara. A program to clean the environment was also held today. 989 public projects were held within yesterday. Over 131,000 benefited. The President's Secretariat implemented many programs today. They included the Grama Shakti, the drugs prevention, Smart Sri Lanka, protection of children and food security programs. Now it's time for your Biz News.
Cabinet has approved a proposal by President Maithripala Sirisena to implement proposals submitted by Committee to Restructure Sri Lankan Airlines. The committee, headed by State Minister Eran Wickramaratne, submitted its report to President Maithripala Sirisena in January. The committee made recommendations related to several sections of Sri Lankan Airlines. The report contains several recommendations, including the financial and institutional restructuring of the Sri Lankan Airlines. The Cabinet has given its nod to a proposal made by the President to implement these recommendations without delay.
That's all we have for you today on Prime TV News. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time. Till then, you can visit itnews.lk to be updated with the very latest. I'm Ishara Nautuna. Stay safe, stay blessed. Good night.